to Diversity Matters. This program is designed to highlight the diversity-related activities throughout New Hanover County schools and the greater Wilmington community. I'm Valita Quattlebaum, Chief Communications Officer for New Hanover County Schools. This month on our program, we'll take a look at the current trends among today's teenagers. They are just as bold, original, and expressive as any generation before them. We'll take a look at their hairstyles, clothing, texting, and all of the other trends that make this millennial generation special. Then in the second half of the show, my co-host Maria Black talks with Karen Harrell, instructional coach from Bellamy Elementary. They'll talk about the kindergarten program, the importance of the role of the program in your child's early education, and steps you need to take to make sure that your child is enrolled. So, don't go away. We'll be right back.
Glucose plus oxygen equals carbon dioxide.
I'd like to pass them back to you now. Very pleased with your work.
She's got the drive, the energy, the heart, and the talent.
Pre-med.
But she wouldn't be here without your help. Please support the United Negro College Fund, because a mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Welcome back to Diversity Matters. I'm Valita Quattlebaum. Throughout the years, American teenagers have been trailblazers in establishing trends in everything from fashion to music and even language and behavior. Think back to the time when you were a teenager. What were the trends of your day? Did you wear poodle skirts, bell bottoms, big afros, or maybe even leg warmers? Were Madonna or Cyndi Lauper your fashion icons? Or did you rock big shoulder pads like the ladies from Dynasty? Whatever decade you were a teen, we can all relate to something memorable and influential from that era. On today's show, I have 3 teenagers from Laney High School as my guests, and they're here to share with us the trends and styles of their generation. Thank you all for being here, and welcome to Diversity Matters. Let's get right to it, because you all are just so unique. And Raven, I love your hair.
Thank you.
2 colors, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why do you wear your hair like that?
Because it's different. You really don't see people with red hair and short haircuts that much.
So it's just something, the way you express yourself. Okay. Enjoy, you're very fashionable over there too. Have you always been a trendsetter?
I've always been unique in my style. I don't really try to dress like everybody else. I just kind of throw my own stuff in.
You put your own spin to it?
Yes.
Okay. And what are some ways you do that?
Well, I'm always changing my hair. It's never the same. Like yesterday, I had my natural look going on. It
What
was
do you mean by
curly.
natural look?
It's like an afro, and it's like different things you can do with it. Like I did little twisties in it, and it gives it like this crinkly look, and it's kind of bigger than this. But
Right.
This is just pressed with a hot comb.
So you can go back and forth between the 2 styles?
Yes, all I have to do is wet it, and it'll turn right back into an afro.
Afro, okay. I'm going natural too, because I have a teenager and she's helping me too.
Yeah.
Even though I wore my hair like this when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
Now Jackson, I noticed you have your own style too. So we're not going to keep you out of this. Do you follow anyone for inspiration, or do you dress like most of the young men at your school?
I dress like most of the young men at my school. I just wear whatever I pick out.
Right.
I just like to feel relaxed.
Feel relaxed and comfortable?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and Raven, where do you buy most of your clothes? Do you shop around for this eclectic look?
I buy most of my clothes at Forever 21
Okay.
or Charlotte Russe, but mostly like with Forever 21, I order myself offline. So people at my school don't have the same exact stuff.
Right, okay, so you mix and match it up so you have your own unique. And I saw your nails. Can you hold your nails up? Okay, and so even your nails are unique. They're not
Yes.
all the same. What is that about?
Oh, well, these are like the new things with nails. They call stiletto nails. Like everybody have them. You could get designs, crystals, sparkles, different colors and
Okay,
everything.
and you don't wear all 10 colors the same, just like your hair is
No.
different. Okay, Okay, I like your style. And all of you, what do your parents think about your unique style? The ladies, I'll ask that too, because you all are kind of different. What do your parents? I see you, Joy. You have some blue highlights in your hair.
It's actually just a track piece, and I have it like bobby pinned in because I don't want to dye my hair.
Okay.
Just because I don't want any chemicals in there. That's the whole process of natural, is not to have chemicals. So
Okay.
it's just like a track piece.
And what do your parents think about your unique style?
My mom thinks it's very interesting, but she actually tries to dress like me. So
Does
it's
she? Okay.
kind of weird.
So you're a trendsetter.
Yes.
Okay. And what about you?
Well,
Crazy.
when I dyed my hair, my mama hated it so much, and the rest of my family. But she understands I'm unique and I'm different, so she started loving it after all the days went by and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I think you look very attractive.
Thank you.
Okay. So do you all notice that other girls try to dress like you, or do they follow your style?
I noticed that with my hair, my friend is trying to go natural too, but the process is like, you have to have like a good self-esteem, and
Right.
it's really hard because your texture of your hair is changing. Like, I got my mom to go natural, and then my sister's trying it, and it's crazy. I got her to get a wig just so it's something different that she can wear every day.
Right,
So
so
many
she can
different
change her
things she can
look.
do.
Well, I
Yeah.
agree with you. It is a challenging process,
Yes.
especially with me. I'm a professional woman in the spotlight, and so you have to work it because you want to look nice every day while you transition your hair.
Yeah.
Okay. So all of you, what do you think your trend, your style, what does it represent? What are you trying to say as a generation? What do you mean? What is your theme, would you say?
I would say my theme with my clothes is that I'm unique, and I want to show people like, well, how I dress is the way I'm feeling. Like, if I'm feeling like moody, I put sweatpants on and look a mess. But when I'm feeling like in a good mood, I dress up and try to be different.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what we all kind of go for. Like, when we're not really in the mood, we throw on some sweatpants, some sneakers, or if we feeling hip, we might put on some jeans and like some type of shirt and just like sneakers, or if we feel like dressing up, we'll throw on our boots and a nice dressy shirt.
Okay. Would you say your generation is more laid back than previous generations?
I'd say so.
You'd say so?
'cause I
Jackson,
think
why do you
so.
say that?
Well, I'd say we're more laid back than past generations because we don't really have that many people to impress as they used to, and we wear what we wear as a self-representation of what or who we are.
Right.
Like,
Okay.
I wear this, I like to look good, so it makes me look like
You feel
I'm a nice kid.
comfortable
Yeah.
with that. Okay. And I think you're right. Like, in my generation, we were called the BMW generation, the me generation. So when I was your age, a lot of kids wore preppy look, a lot of trying to look wealthy. It was more focused on materialism, you know, and also being bold, being free. And I guess you all are kind of saying the same thing, but maybe not as focused on materialism, just being unique and relaxed.
Yeah,
Is that it?
I think it's the more relaxed kind of thing.
Okay, okay. Do you see any of the trends that you all represent becoming more mainstream in the future, becoming not so unique? I know, Joy, the natural hair, I think with African American women especially, we're seeing more and more of that.
Yes, I feel like we are. And I also feel like we're kind of bringing back some of the things that y'all used to wear, like the leggings, but the different colors, and then the Converse are still in style.
Converse was
Yeah.
very much in style when I was a teenager.
I see a lot of that stuff coming back. So
Some
I
of
feel
the
like
stuff I hope doesn't come back. I remember in the 80s, hammer pants. I don't know if
I
y'all
have
remember
some of
that. Oh my
those.
goodness.
and then, you know, the
Yeah,
high-waisted shorts.
and
Really?
the
those are
belly
coming back.
shirts and the headbands.
The shirts that come up to
The
like
head-
right here. Yeah, I have a few of those.
Really?
Me too.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff comes around. So, do you think when you're older, you may look back on some of this? I know sometimes when I look back at pictures of my friends and we're like, oh no, what were we thinking? Do you think you might ever do that?
I think I will. With my bright hair, I'm going to look back. My kid's going to be like, Mom, why was your hair that color? I don't know. I think I'll look a mess 20 years from now.
Oh, you're a beautiful girl. So
Thank you.
I think you'll be all right. Okay, another trend among you all is texting. I have a teenager in my house, and texting is really big. Jackson, what is the deal with that? Why do you all text so much?
Well, texting nowadays is the biggest way of communication between teenagers and adults. And if someone meets someone new, they don't talk as much. They just say, hey, just why don't you text me?
Just text, okay. Yeah, I notice with my children, if I call them or email them, I won't get a response for a long time, but if I text them, it's immediate.
Right.
Okay, so definitely texting is still on the increase, right? We're not slowing down with the texting, okay? And do you think, though, that all of us as people, do we miss anything when we text rather than interact with each other like we're doing now?
Oh yes, I think there's a lot missed.
What do you think, Joy?
Because when you're actually sitting down in front of someone, you can get like a personality view on them, but when you're texting them, it's all you see is words. You see no expression. You don't see how they can make you laugh or anything. Like it's so different.
Okay.
But I think it's just a comfortability kind of thing. Like you're not really comfortable sitting in front of someone because you're so used to being on your phone.
Right.
Like a lot of kids have problem with public speaking.
Right.
Because we're always on the internet or social network. So when they get in front of a crowd of people, it's like, so.
Okay. And what about, has it influenced language? I know every generation contributes something to the American language, or it becomes a part of the dictionary. For instance, cool, or that's a bad outfit you have on, from my generation. What do children say now? What are you all saying? What words have you brought to American society? We talked about, you said, you might not say something, you might still say something that's cool, but you might, how do you say something that looks terrible?
You use the word ratchet.
Okay, what does that mean, and how would you use it?
Ratchet is like, can you explain it?
It's like, ratchet is like bad, like you look bad.
You look terrible.
Yes.
Tore up, right? Yes. Okay. All right. And then there's a lot of texting lingo like IDK and TTYL. You all know what that means, right? Is that a way to keep parents from knowing what you're talking about? Because we do have some concerns about that, because we're trying to protect children from bad people, predators, and things like that. But there's a whole texting lingo. Tell me about that, Jackson.
Well, most parents have learned everything,
right.
and that's
There's some
all
good
they
websites
use now.
to help. I know I'm
Right.
on top of those websites because
Yeah.
I POS, parent over the shoulder. I know what that means.
Well, nowadays, everybody's sentences, when they're talking to each other in person, they're getting shorter because they're using these words that people text with.
Okay.
And spelling is different. Everybody is getting worse at spelling because they're abbreviating everything.
All right. We are running out of time, but I do want to know, just can you quickly tell me about the organization that you're working with that's trying to stop children from texting and driving, students?
My class, Sports Marketing and Entertainment 2, we have created a awareness campaign to prevent kids from texting and driving, because texting is one of the biggest distractions while driving.
Right.
And car crashes still remain the #1 death of adolescents.
Okay. We might have to have you back on to talk more about that. That is really great. You all are so great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Now, don't go away. Maria Black will be right back with her guests.
This song was created with heartbeats of children in need. Find out how it can help frontline health workers bring hope to millions of children at everybeatmatters.org.
Welcome to this segment of Diversity Matters. Today, I have the pleasure of talking with Karen Horrell, instructional coach at Bellamy Elementary. She will be sharing with us important and relevant information about kindergarten. So if you have a kindergartner, please stay tuned because this information will serve you well.
Hello, thank you for coming to the show. Glad to be here. Good morning. Well, recently we were chatting and came across some really neat facts regarding kindergarten. and it was the discovery of when kindergarten originated. And April is the month, like many years ago. What did you find out about that?
Well, I realized that kindergarten had its roots back in the early 1800s, and it began in Germany. Frederick Froebel developed the first kindergarten more as a place for children to explore and learn. It was open to all classes and all religious denominations, and it was a very cultural awareness for all of the students, and the teachers there encouraged tolerance and understanding. And a lot of what they did in that early kindergarten was exploring through play. It was called kindergarten because that means child's garden, where they would learn and grow.
Interesting. Well, that's pretty neat. So already in its origins, it was a welcoming environment, a diverse classroom, so to speak. That's pretty great.
And that stemmed into the United States. About 20 years later, some German immigrants started their own here, which eventually extended across the United States and was also open to lots of students.
Great. Okay. Now, talking like kindergarten business, let's bring it to our state, to North Carolina. Is kindergarten compulsory in North Carolina?
It is not compulsory. Students do not have to attend school until they're 7. But once they enroll, if they enroll at 5 or 6, they are expected to attend. It becomes compulsory for them at that point once they enroll.
Okay. What about if a student have already been to kindergarten in another state?
If they've been to another state where they were already in the kindergarten program because of the different cutoff dates for acceptance, and that can be documented, then they are allowed to enroll in North Carolina.
Okay. And tell me about the importance of kindergarten. I have heard people say that, oh, I never went to kindergarten. I started school in 1st grade. So, you know, I guess over a period of time, things have changed and requirements, and I guess by state, that's also changed. So what is so important about kindergarten?
Well, here in North Carolina, or in New Hanover County in particular, kindergarten began in the 70s. And so a lot of those adults that are a little bit older than myself may not have attended kindergarten. And when it first began, it was a lot like Froebel's. It was more play-oriented. And even within 20 years ago, a lot of the kindergarten experience was centered around Circle of Childhood, was very play-oriented, with still expectations and goals in mind for the teacher. But those goals had to be met through play experiences and through exploring. As we progressed, with more rigor included in the curriculum, a lot of statewide assessments have been developed so that we can better gauge where the students are. The expectations of what we used to think of as 1st grade have really come down into the kindergarten level. Students are expected to leave kindergarten being able to read, being able to do simple mathematics, addition, subtraction, understand simple place value. So a lot of those early skills that we think of as 1st grade are now in the kindergarten curriculum.
Okay. And what about, tell me then with those changes, what about parents? Have parents welcomed and have been very positive about that approach?
Parents of students entering kindergarten, for their first child, a lot of parents become very apprehensive about what's expected of kindergartners. But we found that they really do rise to the occasion, and we don't give kindergartners the credit that they deserve for being such smart beings. But they really can rise to that level.
Okay.
Even with everything else that still has to be developed with those early skills and those early social skills and the early independence building, they can come away with the academics as well.
Okay, because yeah, it seems like for quite a long time, there was a big emphasis on the social part, manners, taking turns, getting along with others, cooperation, teamwork.
And that's still very important, and it's still encouraged. A lot of our schools in New Hanover County use the 7 Habits of Happy Kids, which encourages a lot of those early social skills as well as 21st century skills of working together, synergizing, team building, being able to cooperate, coming up with solutions that are win-win. So all of those skills are still very important and are still developed across the curriculum and across the grade levels.
Okay, sounds good. And then tell me about the new Common Core standards. Is that also inclusive for kindergarten, or?
Yes. The Common Core standards were developed by educators, not by policymakers, but by educators, and adopted by most of the states in the United States. There are only a few holdouts left. It's adopted, I think, by 47 states now. Oh, wow. And it's just a framework or a curriculum base that tells teachers what to expect and how deep to take their learning, but not how to teach it. So it's a little bit of a shift. The Common Core has a lot of deeper thinking, higher level questions, getting children to make connections on a higher plane that we weren't really exposed to before with our standard course of study that we had.
Okay, so to recap, so our audience can take note of this one. A kindergartner is expected by the end of their kindergarten year to read and write. Is that correct?
Yes, and a lot of the Common Core goals are read as with support, especially at the kindergarten level. But yes, they are expected to be able to read. Our New Hanover County goals is reading on a level D, which means
that used to be first grade, or
it did. Even last year, the goal was a level B, which was more of a pattern text, really relying on the pictures. Now it's upped a little bit to include more words that are irregular words that aren't necessarily able to decode. A little bit more difficult.
Wow. So. And then the same thing goes for math. So they also have to be able to perform addition and subtraction.
Which is why attending kindergarten is so important.
It's so important. Exactly. It'll build, for first grade, it'll be a great foundation because, of course, first grade would also have leveled up.
Second grade.
Stepped up, right, exactly. So everything have been moved up a year. Okay, so then what would you say are some things for parents to do during the summer? Can you give some suggestions as to things parents can do this summer in preparation for kindergarten?
Yes. Of course, encourage all those independent skills like being able to take care of their personal needs, being able to button, zip, tie. It's difficult to do that in a room of 18 to 20 children.
Right.
So building that independence will give them that assurance that they can take care of themselves. And visiting your public library is always important. Get the child his own or her own library card. Our public library has story times, in English and in Spanish. You just have to look on the public library website to see what those times are, or call the library. Those opportunities also help develop those social skills of being in a group, listening. Anytime that you can do any reading or participate in any play groups.
And our school libraries are also opening during the summer, so that's another great resource. And before we move on to closing, what about students of other languages? Are students of other languages also able to be successful in kindergarten?
Absolutely. A lot of the vocabulary development that we do in kindergarten benefits all students, no matter if they're coming from another language or if they are native English speaking. We also have resources in our schools that students and parents can use that have dual languages in them, English and Spanish or English and French, or just some that I pulled from our building, there are resources on, again, on the public library site. Tumble Books has books in multiple languages that can help kindergartners as well as their parents if they're developing a new language, if they're learning how to speak English or read English.
Right.
And we have the ELL program in all the schools to help those students transition.
That's great. And there are also some websites that are great resources for parents. We were talking about those a few days ago.
Yes.
Can you recall what are some of the names of those websites?
Coloring Colorado has a lot of resources and tips for parents.
Great.
There's a resource sheet that's actually available in 11 different languages on that website.
Wonderful.
It's part of Reading Rockets, which is a great tool for any parent, as well as the PTA websites that have a lot of resources for parents to help with those transitions into school.
Great. Well, we have come to the ends of our time. Definitely, we could talk for a long time about all the great things there are, available for our kids as they are prepared to go to kindergarten. So I just thank you so much for your time, what you've shared this morning. It's been great. So again, we just look forward to having your support next school year. And thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us for this edition. I trust that you enjoyed the information provided. And if you would like additional information as to what you need to do or the school that your child will attend, please feel free to look up our website, www.nhcs.net. Now don't go away, we will be right back.
When I was a kid growing up, I actually was bullied so bad I had to leave school in 8th grade and go to another school.
A safe space is a place where nobody judges you, where you're safe from bullying or from anything that you think is bad and that you don't want to go through, or your friends or your family. Every student deserves to have a safe space at school.
We need to put an end to bullying now.
Please visit safespacekit.com. Help us put a safe space kit in every school in America.
Thank you for joining us for this edition of Diversity Matters. If you'd like more information about our district's ESL program, please call Maria Black at 254-4202. And feel free to call the New Hanover County Schools Public Relations Department at 254-4317 if you have a story idea for future editions of Diversity Matters. Until next time, I'm Valita Quattlebaum, and on behalf of my co-host Maria Black, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again next month right here on Diversity Matters.